So what's up? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So tonight, as I promised before, we're gonna do a little preview of the highly anticipated Nas and DJ Premier album Light Years that will be dropping midnight tomorrow night on Friday, December 12th. A lot of people have circled that day on their calendar for um, one of the most anticipated albums, I would say, in 30 years. Um, this has been a long time coming, and I'm gonna get into what this album means for hip hop or what have you in a little bit. But this definitely sets up to one be the album of the year. You know what I mean? Or be in the running for the album of the year because really, when you look at it, there's been probably there's one pole position album for 2025, and that's Clips Let God Sort 'Em Out. That was the talked about album that got respect, got mainstream respect, and at the same time got respect from hip hop heads and legacy hip hop audiences, that like traditional rap. But outside of that, there have been a lot of pretty good albums. Jid had a good album. Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist had a good album, which I'm going to get to in a little bit about the collaborations and how this could match up to that. Um, Also, Nas and his 7-Eleven Legend series, the Mobb Deep album, Raekwon album, De La Soul album, got a lot of high critical acclaim. So but those albums to me are good albums. I don't know if they stand out as being the best of that year. You know what I mean? I still think this is a very good year for hip hop. I think it's a very competitive year for hip hop. But this is something where you could see this album have album of the year potential. It definitely has the buzz of, arguably the greatest at his craft and Nas as the GOAT of MCs and the GOAT of producers and DJ Premier. You could almost call them identical because outside of Dr. Dre and maybe RZA, you know what I mean? I think now you could enter Kanye West in that conversation too. DJ Premier is right there as far as one of the greatest producers of all time. But I want to talk about that in a little bit because there have been some questions about DJ Premier in the last several years that I think in the last couple of I'd say in the last year or so, last couple of months, he's kind of answered the bell. But we'll get to that. Anyway, let's get to the track list. So Nas, DJ Premier, Light Years, album preview. So I'm gonna share my screen and let's get to this. I'm doing it off of Nas's Instagram real quick. All right, so we got the track list up, and automatically, I love it. I love the length. It's only 15 cuts. You got only. Am I a little bit disappointed? Yes and no. Only feature on here is AZ, which I love. That's perfect. You know what I mean? But I was holding out hope that there were going to be some other features on here. I was actually holding out hope. I don't ask me why. I was going to hold out hope that Jay-Z was going to have a surprise verse. That's just me. I was hoping, who knows, out of the blue, Jay would drop a surprise drop. But I like the fact that it's if you had too many features on here, it would be something that would drown out and take the attention away from Nas and actually Premier. I kind of like it that you just get to enjoy the best beat maker and the best MCs of all time. You know what I mean? As I get back out of Conway. Um, and you get to enjoy that without really being interrupted. You know what I mean? So you really get to hear the synergy between Nas as a rapper and a lyricist, and how the beats fit him, and you don't have to worry about um, even any R&B hooks. You know what I mean? It's just MC, beat maker, MC, producer. That's all you need. You know, so it's going to be straight, really simple. So I mean, can we judge anything from the titles on here? My Life is Real, Get Ready, New York State of Mind Part 3, which is off of New York State of Mind, which is arguably Nas's greatest song of all time, off of Illmatic. Also, New York State of Mind Part 2, which is a follow-up to that on I Am. Welcome to the Underground, Madman, Pause Tapes, Writers. Okay, so you get the tone of this. This is going to be a gritty album. This album right here is not going to be any turn up trap. Well, forget about that angle. I don't think you're going to hear many radio friendly songs on here, or radio friendly to the 2025 theme. This to me, I could see being definitely a boom bap era feel. I could almost see this being a dark kind of a dark but up tempo feel, sort of like Let God Sort Them Out. You know what I mean? So I see that. Sons Young Kings. I'm interested to hear that record. That's gonna be. I want to see where Nas takes that, because that could be like, I know Knight, his son, is probably around, I want to say 17, 18 now. I think that's going to be a tribute to his son, but I want to see where he takes this, because I could see Nas taking it in a direction where he talks about the YN generation. You know what I mean? And young men becoming men today. I really want to see where Nas takes that. That could be a really, maybe the feature track of this, or the most talked about track. It's Time, Nasty, Esco, Nasir. I could see him doing like an evolution type of track, you know, from Nas throughout the years to now, you know, from the street dude to the fly dude getting money with Esco, and to Nasir, who is the wise corporate boss dude that Nas is. Of course, My Story, Your Story with AZ. You know AZ is gonna bring it on there. Bouquet to the ladies. Okay, maybe a little joint. That's probably like a little up tempo joint. You know what I mean? Uh Maybe for the female audiences or whatever. Junkie, Shine Together, Childhood. That's gonna be a play off a Second Childhood that was off of Stillmatic, and which was a classic song, classic story joint. So I could see a lot of stories on here, a lot of conceptual records, a lot of real gritty projects, gritty songs on this one. So I definitely like the length of it. I like the fact, even though I was hoping out for a guest Jay-Z verse. I don't know why, but I like the fact there aren't a lot of features on here. It's just Nas and Premier at their finest, at their best, and you can't complain about that. So I'm encouraged by the track list. It's not something that is going to be drowned out by features. It's not going to be something that is too long. Because, oh my God, there are some long albums out there today, like 20 cuts, 22 cuts. I can't do that. You know what I mean? So definitely, that's what I like to see. So definitely, the preview of the album definitely from the track list looks definitely good. So let's get to this. Is there pressure to deliver on this album to deliver? So there are a couple of things. I think this more pressure on DJ Premier to deliver than Nas to deliver. And I'll explain to you why. Because I think that over the years, even though DJ Premier is an absolute legend, but I think, and I'll just take the 2020s for an example, because in the 2010s, he had a run with Royce the 5'9" and the Prime collaborations, and DJ Premier was active. But I think in the 2020s, I think some of the great producers like Alchemist, like Hit Boy, if you want to go mainstream, even the Metro Boomins of this world, I think all um, they all got more attention than he did. You know what I mean? I think they kind of, and not to say Primo wasn't active, but Primo had some joints that came out. Like he had the joint with Rock Marciano. That was okay. He had the joint with Ransom this year. That was okay. I mean, he did some other projects over the last couple of years. And of course, he did some guest beats as he always does. But I was more encouraged by the production I heard on Cabin in the Sky from De La Soul. I think the tracks on there had an up-tempo type of feel, a different type of bounce to it. I know the track with him and Black Thought was really good. So that kind of got me thinking this could be a banger. I did like the track they did with Ransom, or Primo did with Ransom. I didn't love it, but I liked it. And that was another banger. But I'm thinking for this Nas project, I almost want to see a notch above that. I mean, I want to see Prime DJ Premier, and I'm talking like 9.5 to like 99 Primo. You know what I mean? Like Nas is like Primo. You know, like what was the Moment of Truth Primo? I think Moment of Truth, I mean, this is just my opinion, is the most entertaining Primo beats that you had on one project, really. I'm talking Jay-Z So Ghetto Primo. Like that type of Primo is what I'm looking for. I'm saying DJ Premier 1995 to 2000. Like I'm really want to see that level. And I think there's more pressure on him because of the producers. But even with working with Nas, because you got to think, Nas has put out a legendary series with Hit Boy. So now it's like Primo not only has to live up to the pressure of 30 years, this really coming out, and DJ Premier being one of the 5 greatest producers of all time, but you got to live up to the pressure of, okay, I got to put this album next to a King's Disease 2, a Magic 1, a King's Disease 3, like, which were all album of the years, borderline classic. And King's Disease won Nas his first Grammy. So Primo has to live up to the artist he's featuring on this, you know? Um, and not only that, in the space of 1 year, you had Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs put out a standout work. You had Pharrell and the Clips put out a standout work. I mean, all legend in their own right. You know what I mean? Two legendary producers. And Pharrell and Alchemist, I think, are definitely in the DJ Premier conversation as far as the greatest producers of all time. Alchemist actually put out three with the project with Two Chains and Larry June. So you got that to live up to too. So I think there's more pressure on Primo, DJ Premier, to deliver than Nas. Yeah. Another point too is that not too far behind, but Conductor Williams also had a strong year. I think Conductor Williams got himself in that top producer category this year, especially with a project with Ransom. Some of the other guest spots that he's doing. I know he's doing spots with Comedy the Machine that's coming out. I know he's gonna produce with them. He had the joint with Rome Streets, which had heavy underground buzz. So, you know, this was a good year for producers, especially the non-mainstream producers who appeal to more the underground audiences. I definitely think Primo has his work cut out for him. So I think there's more pressure on Primo to deliver than Nas. As for Nas, right now, this is gonna sound crazy. I don't think Nas can do no wrong. He just has to deliver on the level that he's delivered the last, 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Which he's been rapping at a high level. Now, what I will say is that with this Seven Legends series, this was the main course. It's almost like you had 6 appetizers and this was the main course. But in those appetizers, Nas spit the hardest verse on just about every one of those records, from Slick Rick to De La Soul to Raekwon to Mobb Deep to who am I leaving out? The Big L, definitely on Big L. I don't know about Ghostface. That was probably the weakest Nas feature. But Nas definitely delivered bars wise. So that I think Nas has to live up to those verses and that level of rap on this. But this definitely is the main course. And people have waited all year for this. And I love the buildup of the whole, Seven Legends that led up to this album. It was the perfect lead up to this project right here. You know what I mean? And Nas pieces out great. I already did a video. Check out that video I did on Nas, the Seven Legends series, and how that kind of changed legacy hip hop. So I definitely think that was important. But I do think Primo does have a little bit to live up to. I've actually seen some videos where some of the content creators have been critical of Primo over the last couple of years. I mean, I don't know how, because he's easily top 5, but some of his beats lacked a modern sound, maybe too generic and boom bap. I don't know about that. But I do think the last couple of beats that he's done, I'd say in the last couple of months, especially on De La Soul album, makes me think, yeah, I think Primo is ready for this. I even heard a snippet on one of the preview, one of the social media promos for this, and I heard that beat with Nas and Primo. If that's on there, this joint is going to be fire. I'll just say that. Man, that was a hard track. That was a hard track from what I heard. So I definitely would look out for that. But yeah, I'm excited, y'all. I'm I don't know. I'm of the opinion of maybe actually staying up to midnight to listen to this. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't done a midnight listening session in probably before COVID. Seriously. Used to do it all the time for the big money albums that will drop. You know what I mean? Your big artists that drop. But yeah. Nas DJ Premiere Light Years is finally here. We're only one day away. Um, Almost coming up on 24 hours now from it dropping, and we're gonna see. I mean, this is what a whole generation of hip hop has been living up to, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna define. Well, I'll get to this. I'll just foreshadow a little bit, but we're coming up on the mid-year point or the midpoint of this decade. I mean, it's going to be once January 1 hits, we would have a full 5 years in the 2020s. And really, we have to look at Nas as being the best MC, the best rapper of this decade. We really have to look at that. Now, I know there's going to be a certain rapper from Compton that is going to want to be in that discussion. Maybe even another rapper from Toronto. We're going to have this discussion, once we simmer down and we listen and we really sink our teeth into this album, because I want to make this first about this album first, but I mean, just think of the run Nas has had since 2020. You know what I mean? From all the King's Disease series to the Magic series to all the features he's done and the features he's crushed. I mean, we even forget Nas smoked Nas smoked him on the Let God Sort Him Out. I mean, Nas has been so fire this year, that's almost like an afterthought that he crushed that verse too on Let God Sort Him Out, one of the hardest songs on there. So, I mean, if there's seriously, we really have to study this 5-year window of Nas as how dominant a rap it has been to put out now 7 albums, and all of them. We'll be ready to talk about this album, but definitely 6 albums that are pure fire, man. Maybe the King's Disease 1 was a little bit questionable. Well, maybe you could say King's Disease 1 and Magic 3. I'm sorry, Magic 2 were just dope albums, but the rest of them, I mean, come on. So you're going to look at 7 albums in 5 years, a Grammy win, all album of the year, critically acclaimed albums, and I'm going out on a limb. This one is probably going to be in that conversation too. We really have to look at Nas as being the best artist of this decade, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Let's wait for the album to drop. We're going to have a review on this. I might even have to do 2 reviews. I might have to get. I'm definitely going to get Ansem and I'm going to get Reese and get their perspective on this album. So, everybody, just get excited for tomorrow. 24 hours, and we'll have a lot to listen to and a lot to talk about. So, with that, enjoy the rest of y'all night. We got a lot other content coming up. Stay tuned. We're gonna have our best of 2025 coming up pretty soon. I'm probably gonna wait till the New Year's turns, probably, so we could get everything out and get a good listen to everything that drops, so we could, rate our top albums and get our top artists. And definitely, that's gonna be a roundtable talk. We're gonna bring back the fellas for that one. So there's definitely that. There's some other content I want to bring up. I got to talk about this game album or this game project that came out. So stay tuned for that. And Anyway, and stay tuned for Nas and DJ Premier Light Years finally here in about 24 hours. So, and we will definitely stay tuned for a review on that one. So, with that, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening, and I will see y'all soon. All right, peace.